Hi guys, it's Justin here from Perth Pro, and today we're going to discuss how to install spotlights onto your vehicle. To do this, you're going to need a pair of spotlights, your wiring harness with the relay, connector to connect from your spotlight harness to your two spotlights, a spotlight switch. We always opt for an OEM style, that's why we've gone for the Light Force dual. I'll be running a light bar as well, hence why we've gone for the dual switch light bar on the bottom, spotlights on top. And then depending on your vehicle model, you'll either need just to be able to connect straight to your headlights, or you'll need a CAN bus module. So for my vehicle, I'm going to run a CAN bus module, and then that way we'll be able to connect straight up to the CAN bus to get our high beam feed to our relay and then through the switch. All these parts are available on our online store, perthpro.com.au, so head over there to check it out if you need any parts, but let's get stuck into it. Okay, so I've opted for the Laser Lamp Elite 9-inch. The reason I've opted for these is they're just by far the best quality light on the market. The amount of spread and distance you get on these are just far superior to any other light. You can get lights out there on the market that do have a lot more distance than these laser lamps, but me personally, I'm not trying to see 1.5 Ks into the future. So these are more than enough. They produce 1 lux at 752 meters, but they also give you a 52-degree beam spread. So these are by far the best for spread on the market, and for me personally, that's just what I would prefer. So they also have a die-cast aluminium mounting bracket. These are one of the very few lights that you can actually install on marine products, which is pretty rare in this industry. We had to find a product that is built for both marine and for the four-wheel drive market. So you obviously know if they're able to handle marine conditions, you know there's not going to be any issues with reliability and rust problems. They also have an IP68 rating, and then they come with a 5-year warranty. So really the game plan now, we'll get these mounted onto the bull bar, and then we'll go ahead and get our relays mounted, get all the cabling run. We'll do the engine bay first, and then we'll jump inside, chuck the CAN bus module in, chuck our switch wire in, and then we should be good to go. So let's go for it. So I'm just fitting the spotlights using the supplied hardware. I did change out the flat washers for penny washers just to give them a bit more surface area to mount onto the bull bar there. So that's just a personal preference. It's not required, but I just prefer just to give it a bit more surface area. Yeah, so on these sentinel lights, with the positional lights, you've got white or amber. So you've just got these two wires, and then if you want the amber ones, you're just gonna go the brown. And if you want the white, you're just gonna go the green. So me personally, I'm gonna go the white ones, just so it suits the rest of the vehicle. So you're just gonna chuck that in there, and then you just double back this one back to protect it, chuck the sleeving over, and then I'm just gonna chuck a bit of split conduit over the cable just to protect it, and then these are good to go. So I'm just running the spotlight relay cabling in the engine bay. We're just going from where it's mounted around the battery box down to where the spotlights are, and then we'll go through into the firewall, into the cab. Yeah, so I just finished up in the engine bay. We've mounted the two spotlights here on the bull bar, and then we've just run our cabling in the engine bay here. So we try to follow factory wiring as much as possible. So we've got our two plugs just there. The wiring comes up along there, tucks in under here, and then it follows the cabling as much as possible down to the headlight. And then we're coming up the headlight to our relay here. The relay hasn't been mounted as of yet. We're just waiting for a bracket to get made up, and then we can mount that. Same with the power. I haven't connected the power as of yet. We'll do that right at the end when we're ready to test and it's all connected. Then we're just running along the slide down in here around the battery. We've chucked the earth cable just on this point here. Same thing, whenever we use earth, we always try to use a factory spot. Keeps it looking nice, and then we know it's definitely going to be a good earth, so that's why we always try to chuck in earth at a factory spot. And then we're just running down along the side here to the firewall, And then there's just a grommet there that's got a main plug, and then we'll just punch straight through there into the firewall, and then that's the engine bay sorted. So yeah, we're just gonna jump into the cab, wire in the CAN bus module and the switch, and then she'll be good to go. Yeah, so we're run the cable from the other side where we've penetrated the firewall up underneath the dash. Same thing, we'll follow the cabling as much as possible. It's now just run up under here, and then just in here, so this is our high beam light that just needs to go from the CAN bus module then to the switch, and then this is just for your positional lights. So this just needs to go to the park brake feed. So to find where we need to pick up the CAN bus, CanMate has a pretty good feature. So they've got a QR code that comes on every single one of their CAN bus modules. You just need to be mindful that you can only scan this 3 times, and then this will no longer be usable. So just keep that in mind. So you just download the CanMate app, and then you'll scan it through the app, and then it'll just pop up now with where you can pick it up on your specific car. So you'll bring a drop down box, you select your model. So obviously it's being Isuzu, so we pick Isuzu, then the D-Max, and then the correct year, and then it'll pop up here telling you how to wire in the actual CAN bus module, and then where you can pick it up on the actual car. So in this one, it's just down on the driver's side kick panel, and then it tells you there, this is the plug we're looking for, the exact one. So we'll get these covers ripped off now, and then we'll find our CAN bus wires, and then we can wire this module in. Okay, so yesterday where we left off, we were running the cable from the other side over here once we'd punched through the firewall, and then we just needed to take this kick panel off here because that's where we're going to pick up our CAN bus wiring. So as per the app from CanMate, where they give you the instructions, you're just going to tap off this grey plug just in here, and then we're just going to grab the blue and yellow wire. Now, 2 ways you can confirm that you've tapped off the correct cables is you'll find that they are twisted together. All CAN bus wires are twisted together. And then another confirmation you can have is by grabbing your multimeter, put it on the ohm settings, chuck your multimeter over the 2 wires, and you should get 60 ohms. If you've got 60 ohms, you know you're on your CAN bus wires. So then we just connected it in, our 2 cables, as per CanMate's instructions. So it was blue to the yellow, and then the white went to the blue, and that's for your CAN high and CAN low. And then we've just tucked the little module just up in there, the orange unit just there. So it's tucked away nicely and secure, so when that kick panel goes on, it's not going to interfere with that. Then we're just running our cabling just up here, and then we've just tapped off the fuse box for the positive and negative for the actual CanMate module. So once we've got that, we've now got positive and negative to our CAN bus module. We've then got our CAN bus wiring. We'll just run it up into our switch here. So then when we came to our switch, I did have originally the factory switches on the right hand side. I just moved them all the way to the left because they're just switches that I'm never going to really use. So I just thought it'd be better if they moved to the left. And then I put in my extra switching. So the switch obviously wiring in is the driving light switch. So we've just tapped off the brown and the black wire just off the factory switch. That's our park light or illumination switch. And then obviously black is your negative. So once we've grabbed our park and our earth off our OEM switch, we're then going to wire it into our aftermarket switch. So light force come with the wire instructions on the back. This one being a dual switch because I've got a light bar that I'm putting on the roof. So if you didn't have a dual switch, it's going to be a little more basic. You're going to have 2 less wires, but it just tells you where to wire in. Okay, so the blue wire is our output that's going to our relay for our spotlights. So that's the top switch of the dual. The white wire is then the bottom power in. So that'll be for my future light bar on the roof. Then red is the 12 volt power in, so that's coming from your CAN bus module, and that's the power into the top switch. So that's the one that we need to connect our CAN bus to, because that's going to be our power in, power out's the blue. Then the black cable is our negative, so that's just for our illumination of our lights. That just goes straight to ground. Yellow is now our 12 volt inlet from the dash light, so that's your park light feed, illumination. So that's where we've then connected our brown wire from the OEM switch to the yellow wire on the switch here. And then green is the switched output for the bottom light. So that'll be the output going to the relay that's then going to power my light bar on the roof. Once that's all connected, We're then ready to test and then start using our spotlights. So the CAN bus modules have an LED just to tell you what how they're performing. So when it's got a red LED, it means yep, you've powered it up correctly, so you've got a good positive and negative going to it. And then once it goes green, you know it's speaking to the car correctly. So to confirm that, you'll obviously connect it up to power, connect it to your CAN bus, and then that red LED should come on. You'll then turn the ignition on your car, and then after a few seconds, it should speak to the car, and then it should turn green. That's how you know you've connected it correctly. So this is how the finished product looks. We've just finished the install of the spotlights. The first LEDs you can see in each corner is the actual positional lights. So you can wire these ones off ignition or park light. I personally chose to wire them just off the park lights. I'll be running the laser lamp, little black covers that go over them, so most of the time you're not going to see them anyway, so I just preferred to put them off the park lights. So as you can see, they're all installed now and working correctly. This is us testing them at night. As you can see, we're just driving along, pitch black, and then we've just got the low beam of the car on, and then we're flicking the high beam on with the spotlights, and you can see it's making a world of difference. So here, this is just the low beam of the vehicle's headlights. Now we're switching on just the high beam of the vehicle's headlights, and then the actual spotlights themselves. As you can see, there's a huge difference between the high beam of the headlights on the OEM car and then the actual spotlights themselves. So that wraps up how to install spotlights onto your vehicle. If this is too involved for yourself and you're after ourselves to install it, you can contact us at info@perthpro.com.au, and then we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.